Jarrod, I've got to say this is my first kayaking adventure on Port Phillip Bay. We launched off the beach at Edithvale. What species are we going to haunt in the yaks today?
The good part about launching off a beach like this is there's plenty of Australian salmon and they're one of Victoria's iconic sports fish. So it's easy to access them.
Yep.
We can go and catch them.
And fuel's not cheap. This is the best way to go out.
It sure is.
Talk about economical fishing. Jarrod, I'll race you there. Oh, a bit of bumper boats too.
That's right.
This is so much fun.
Oh, how good is it?
We heard the fish were on, and I think it's a fair indication that it's a weekday. I'll give all these blokes up if they should be at work. It's actually a Wednesday, so hide your faces if you've got a boss. And look at this. The good thing about kayaking is you can get up close and personal.
Hey!
Yeah, good to see you. Now, I'm going to go out. No, look, I'll just go this way.
They're both made of plastic.
Yes, these are my brand new best friends. I'll give you a bit of a push-up. And how good is this? No fuel, get the heart started. I've already bumped into a few old friends, and this is kayaking on Port Phillip Bay on a Wednesday, so hide your faces, fellas. And you hooked up too, Jez?
Mate, how hard do these things pull? The good part about this, Paul,
Yes.
is I don't have to paddle.
Yeah.
I'm getting towed.
How awesome's this? The little Stratic CI4 and the new reels, one of my favourite little T-curve rods. And this is a Port Phillip Bay salmon, Arapus trutta, scientific name for people who live in other states because they will get confused between the different two types of salmon we have here. And it actually gives you a fair account, and I am absolutely loving the fact that I'm so close to the water and, dare I sound philosophical, almost at one with the fish and at one with my fishing friends. There are salmon everywhere and I don't have a sounder. So luckily enough, some of the boys said, drop it down here and you'll find a fish, and that I have. And I've got to say, Jez, you can't just pull the salmon to you. I'm actually getting pulled along by a salmon.
I know.
How cool is this? Now, I'm running 10-pound fins braid and a 14-pound fluorocarbon leader, and my fish is just hanging there below the boat. I just can't get him up that last bit. There he is. Come on, mate. Oh. Here we go, come on. There you are. And there is my fish. Come on. Look at that. Beautiful Australian salmon on a squidgy flick bait, kayak style, and Jez, that's a pigeon pair. Isn't this sensational?
Oh, mate. We've come out this way. We've been here all of what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, not that long.
Not that
I've
long.
told you once, I've told you a million times not to exaggerate.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I won't. But that is...
Well, I'm just going to put the fish back in the water for a second, because while he's in there, he can swim around, do his own thing. Kayaking has just gone off its salmon the last few years, and Jarrod, I've only done a little bit of it. I was lucky enough, as I said, to catch a beautiful bull shark in the Brisbane River out of a kayak. Yep. I can understand now why the fascination is.
Oh, it's easy. It's accessible. Everyone can do it.
Well, we say everyone can do it. If you saw me earlier trying to steer, let's just say not everyone can do it. But I've got pedals now. I'm doing well. This fish is going back. This is Port Phillip Bay kayaking, and I'm just a little bit excited. How cool is this? Jarrod, what are you doing?
Trying to paddle and catch a fish at the same time, which I'm guessing is why pedals are a little bit more effective when you're hooked up.
Yeah, they are fairly good, mate. I've actually just gone for a bigger flick bait because the boys there have been smashing them even on the drop. But you've come in and hooked up straight away.
I have. First cast on a 70mm flick bait. Just done quite well. Paul, one thing I've noticed fishing out of a kayak.
What's that, mate?
These fish actually pull harder.
They do, don't they?
Oh, when you're this low to the water, it's definitely a challenge.
Oh, that's a nice fish too.
It's not... They just don't give up.
That is gold.
Oh, mate.
That is a really nice fish, and you know what, I think they look bigger when you're at this angle too, Jez.
Hey, everything looks bigger. And if my fish looks bigger, I'm happy.
That's exactly right.
Oh, there he is. Oh, come on. He's not
Now,
spent yet. Oh.
Port Phillip Bay is only 13.5 degrees at the moment, and these salmon just seem to love these conditions, don't they?
Oh, definitely. Every, I guess, May, June, July, we do get this flood of salmon up into this area especially. There's a bit of a reef here, it drops off to sand, and they just cruise the edge feeding in massive schools.
Jarrod, do you wonder why I'm going around in circles?
No idea.
Yeah, because I can.
Okay, well, I can't. Nevertheless, look at that, Paul.
That is quality.
I've got one and you haven't.
You know what? I'm going over there because that's where the fish are.
You do that and I'll let this one
Good
go.
luck with your ongoing projects.
Thank you.
Well, I'm very fortunate in that I've got some friends out here today, and they have actually been finding some fish for us and tell us exactly where to cast, which is a beautiful thing. And how good is this Hobie kayak? You saw us paddling earlier, but I can actually steer this with a little rudder on the side here. I use my fingers, you see the rudder at the back turns left and right. How cool is that? And I can actually drive with my feet, so I can actually follow this fish. And this is a decent fish. I was using a very small squidgy flickbait Neville minnow, and I changed to 110 mil in the pilly. Just let it sink down, and this fish has actually towed me 100 yards. It's actually been pulling the kayak. I'm actually going to use the yak to cut him off. You see I've steered around him there, and he's not going to be too keen to go under the kayak. And there you go, I've actually cut him off and stopped him from going towards the marine park. And I cannot believe how much fun this is. Everyone says you've got to exercise. I did 4 years of physical education at Rusden University, g'day to all the guys I went to school with. Now look what I'm doing in my life. But what I did learn is that cardiovascular disease kills thousands and thousands and thousands of people every year. But I hate exercising because it's boring. If you can do something like this where you're actually exercising but you don't realise you're exercising, it's just got to be a win-win because you're out here having a great time, catching fish, not harming the environment anyway, and you get to actually get the old ticker going as well. And my resting heart rate, I might actually get it down to a reasonable level. At the moment, it's about 170 because I'm pumped. Now, what has this fish done? I think he's actually wrapped up. Oh no, the line's going under him. This is a nice fish. There are some really cool salmon in Port Phillip Bay at the moment. Oh, and I can see this is one unlucky fish. About 2 minutes ago, I felt the lure pull and I actually went, oh no! And as the lure has pulled, come here mate, as the lure has pulled out of his mouth, it's actually shot around and hooked him right in the back there. That is one very unlucky Australian salmon, but I am one very, very lucky kayaker. Because it's not a monstrous fish, but the thing you got to do with fishing is always set yourself a fishing goal. And it doesn't matter how big the fish is, but if you go out to target little mullet for bait the next day, or if you want to catch gars off the pier, as long as you do it and you're successful, it's a pretty good feeling. And I've got to say, it is a very, very good feeling to come into Port Phillip Bay on a kayak for the first time in the bay and catch quality fish like this guy. And everyone else around me, you can hear the screams, they're having a good time too. Oh! And that is my fishing rod. We'll leave that in the boat. Now this is how it works, mate. I let you go, not the fishing rod. You get it? Okay. That might need a shower when I get home, I think. Just want to take a second to run you through the gear I'm using for these salmon in Port Phillip Bay. Beautiful little Shimano Stratic 2,500, just love it, the CI4. 10 pound fins braid. It's great because you can cast a long way, but you can feel every little bite. And on the end, how nice is that? My squidgy flick bait. That is a quality salmon lure. I think it's time to rejoin the school. And when I say the school, I mean the school of my mates over there, because I feel like a little fish in a big pond. Watch how fast this thing goes.
Now, bit of a struggle. However, the fish have just gone a little bit deeper, so we've had to let The jig heads and the plastic go all the way to the bottom and just jig them up along there. The salmon have been sucking them up. So, still quite a number of fish around. Oh, g'day, mate. How you going?
Hey, Jarrod!
And look at that. A beautiful, beautiful salmon once again. With hook penetration right in the corner. Of that lip on that soft plastic, that is just marvellous. That. We'll get this one back in the water. That fell out nice and easily. And there he goes back to the school. Let's get some more.
Snagged it. I hooked the fish and then somehow it snagged me. So I don't know how my leader's going to survive that, and I've still got the fish on here, which is quite amazing. And I just learned a fantastic tip, a kayaking tip from my friend Paul, who I bumped into earlier. When I say bumped into earlier, that's exactly what happened. He actually said to me all he likes to do is troll the hard body out the back of the yak. As soon as he gets a hit on the hard body, that's basically fish time. He then knows where the fish are, then he starts fishing the plastics. Jarrod, who's been driving a kayak long?
No.
Thanks, you. What's this? All the fun of the country thing. Oh, I don't know, look at this. I've done this twice today, Jess.
Oh, you hooked him in the bottom.
Now see, anyone can catch a fish in the mouth because the fish actually come out. This guy, once again, has come up. I avoid the mouth because anyone can do that. I've hooked him right down here in the bottom region. And that is what you need. What a beautiful fish. Australian salmon. Believe it or not, they're not actually a species of salmon at all. When the early explorers come out, they call them salmon by mistake. And I'm putting my cameraman to sleep, so I'm going to get the hook out of this fish, and I'm going to stop talking right now. Thanks for the memories, mate. That was very, very cool. Off you go. There you go. And away he goes.
Some may wonder why I'm facing backwards on my kayak. The answer's pure and simple. Basically, it's the difference between pedal power and paddle power. Pedal power, you can keep it in the straight direction by the use of a rudder. Unfortunately, I have to paddle to keep in the same line. Doesn't matter because of the stability of the kayak. I can swivel around and fight the fish anyway. So, the answer lies with yourself, whether it's pedal power or paddle power that you want to fish out of. And a beautiful salmon to end it. These fish certainly do pull harder when you're at water level.
Absolutely, and I can't believe how comfortable I feel at water level. It's awesome. I thought I might just be a little bit anxious about being so close to things with fins.
I think the anxious part's when that single dorsal comes up.
Yeah. Oh!
Nice fish.
I have to say too, Jarrod, we are right on the very edge of the marine park. I'm lining things up here, and I think I make it by about 2 feet. So you must remember you cannot fish in a marine park. So we will avoid doing the wrong thing. I'm going to back up.
And that is an absolutely remarkable Australian salmon.
Well, as you can see, we're in the dead calm of the afternoon, and the salmon have actually gone down a bit. We smashed that many fish this morning, it was just insane. In fact, from a filming perspective, we probably caught too many fish because it's hard to film. So what I'm going to do now, put 2 Yozuris on, just going to work my way up the edge of the reef there and do a bit of stealth trolling. Hopefully we can find a few that way. Yes! Jezza!
You've got one.
I love it when a plan comes together. The old salmon on the troll trick. How good is that? Oh! And Jarrod, hasn't this just been the most amazing bite?
You know the best part about it?
What's that, mate?
A day on Port Phillip Bay.
Do me a favour. Can you wind my other rod in?
I'll have a go.
Thanks, mate. And do me another favour.
What's that?
Try not to hammer me with the old lure this time.
Oh, right.
Oh, up close and personal. And there's just a little bit of a tip there. As my friend Paul said earlier, I was talking to Paul, he said if you can't find the salmon, try trolling for them. And I'm doing all sorts of things back to front here. I've got the fish over you, Jarrod, but I'm still trying to look at the people at home. Maybe just put that lure down for me. Thank you, my friend. And I have to say, there are limits to fishing out of a kayak. It can be straining at times, can't it?
It sure can, because it's a little bit late in the afternoon and my back's starting to hurt.
Yes, and there'll be people around the country saying, you know what, I don't know if kayaking's for me. I'm a bit old, I'm a bit weary. Well, let me just say, I've got this little thing called spondyloarthritis. And if you want to know what joint in my body it affects, it's easy, it affects them all. And it puts me in quite a bit of pain at times. But I can still get in a yak, and I can still have a yak about kayak fishing, which is taking the fishing world by storm. And geez, this isn't a bad fish, I reckon.
It's actually quite nice, yes.
Oh, there he is. Gee, don't you love these fish? Look at him. They're nice fish, aren't they, mate?
Right, there's nothing that disappoints when you can come out here, we're not too far off the shore, and catch beautiful salmon like that.
And how's the way these yellow pectoral fins, whoop, calm down, mate. Look at the way those yellow pectorals just glow. And when they're swimming in the water, they are the colour of the water. It's that beautiful green, yellow. What an awesome fish.
Everything about them is sensational.
It is too good. Well, you've got to be happy. I know the sun is in your eyes and I apologise, but that is because it just looks so amazing here that the sunshine is coming straight out of our yak. I fish, so does Jarrod, and we kayak.